Video orientation of a Seneca 37 TS. I'm going to start from the front, go through the engine, all the way around driver's side, come back around passenger side, stop the video, start another video on the inside. So from the front, motor, radiator fluid, radiator cap. Don't take it off when it's hot. Windshield wiper fluid. Lights on these ones. I absolutely love the C chassis on this. Easy to replace lights. A latch on this one. It's actually kind of nice once you have it closed. I'll show that in the video as well. Grab handle up front, so when you're trying to open it, you can grab from there. On this side, you have power steering fluid. You probably won't ever have to touch that much or ever. Engine oil. Notice there's a lock on there. Make sure that is locked and in place when traveling, or else you will have a big oil issue. That will spray out the top there. Transmission oil, then oil fill for the engine oil. Fuse boxes, just in case you ever have any issues with fuses. But beyond that, not a whole lot I can teach you under here, mostly because we don't work on the engine or the chassis. Close the hood. Like I said, I'll show you this. Bring it down. Latch it on. Fold it over. One on each side. I'll do the other one when I'm over there. Two decent sized mirrors on here. Bottom one is not power or heated. Top one is power and heated. There's a knob on the door for that. We have step inside. And then we have DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. This is needed to drive diesels nowadays. So that is something you can find at any gas station or truck stop. Truck stops will have it at the pump. Most other places are going to have it in 2.5 gallon jugs. My suggestion is always have a 2.5 gallon jug with you, just so in case you ever run out and you're just not close to a fuel station. There is a gauge on the dash that you'll be able to see when I get to the dash, but I'll show you what that is and explain that further. First compartment back is batteries. You have your house and chassis batteries in here. There are 6 batteries. It is on a tray, so it will slide out. Doing this one-handed is not always easy, so I'm not going to really try right now. But pretty nice. A little bit of storage compartment here. There is a pass-through. You can see all the way through the other side. Inverter, I'll teach you about that one inside. That's just where the inverter is located. A little more storage. Again, inverter, power, starter kit, 25-foot safe drinking hose, a water pressure regulator, 4 rolls of RV marine toilet paper, a 10-foot sewage hose, which is or is not needed on this in particular coach. 15 drop-ins for your black tank. Basically just helps with deodorizing and breaking down any solids you might have in the black tank. I always tell people take a 5-gallon bucket, fill it with 4 gallons of water, drop one of those in, let it dilute, pour it down your toilet. That helps with having a little more water in your black tank, and that actually will help in the long run. And then a 30 amp to a 15 amp adapter. With that adapter, you do not want to run any air conditioners. Compartment behind it, you have your power cord. It is 50 amp. It does come with a 50 amp to 30 amp adapter. With this adapter, you can only run one air conditioner at a time. if you run both, you're liable to damage something. This one is on a spool. It's all manual to run it out, and then to run it back in, there is a button on the right side of the compartment. Push the button and it rolls in. Make sure you follow it up, make sure it spools correctly, just so you don't have any issues of it just jamming in there. Oh yeah, there's also a hole at the bottom of it. This is for the power cord, so you can run it out the bottom and still lock and close your compartment doors. Furnace, it says hot. Don't touch it. Ooh, let me get to the wet bay in a second. Alright, so diesel, low sulfur diesel only. That's what you're going to find at most diesel stations, fuel stations for this. Takes a couple gallons. Alright, the wet bay. This is always a fun one. Light. You do have a macerator in this one. Basically, it grinds all your solids, turns them more to a liquid. Instead of using your normal sewage hose, you have this pretty long hose. It goes out to about 10 feet, maybe a little shorter, 8 on this one, but it's nice to have. How to use this: you turn the macerator on. See if you can hear that. The humming is the macerator. With the macerator running, first thing you're going to do is make sure, or first thing before you even turn it on, plug in the sewage hose where you want it, and then where you're dumping. Obviously take the lid off that first. It has 2 different lids. A little hard to do with 2, one hand. Take that lid off, put it in, turn the macerator on. Always pull the black tank valve first. It's a little hard to see in this lighting, but it's right here. Then always pull the gray tank second. You're going to see a third valve there. The third valve is in case the macerator ever breaks down, or if you're doing a full hookup where you want to be able to let your gray tank empty all the time, you are able to just do that. Or just an emergency situation where the macerator stops working. So it's going to be just old school. You still need to pull this valve, hook up your hose, put it in the hole, and then pull your black tank and then your gray tank. You do have an outside shower on this one. It is hot and cold. It is done with a quick connect. So hose that comes with it, little sprayer nozzle. Plug it in, turn on the water. Now you have hot and cold water on a nozzle. Take it off, push back on the white, and you're good to go. Alright, so I get this a lot. People think this is really complicated. Our brain complicates it. It's not really. Basically, turn these 4 valves into the picture you want it to do. So if you want dry camping, which is what it's set up to right now, so it's going to be pulling from your tank, you would turn your valves the way they are. If you want to fill your tank the way the valves are there. Look at it here, there. So now the valves match the picture. Same goes winterizing, sanitizing, and just regular city water hookup. So that one's pretty simple. White one's going to always be your fresh city water in, so that's going to do everything winterize. It's going to fill your tank, and it's going to have city water connection when you have pressure at the campground. The black one is always going to be on this in particular model. It's always going to be the black tank flush. It's a upside down sprinkler that sprays inside the black tank. Something you only want to use You can use it all the time if you want, but just make sure you don't leave the black tank not draining. Let me rephrase that one. Make sure you're draining the black tank when you're using that. Chances are you start the water in, you have pressure going in, it fills the tank, you walk away, you forget about it 20 minutes later, someone asks you a question, you get distracted, it overfills the tank, it goes to your roof. We don't really want that, so make sure you're draining when you're using that. You have a satellite in, so if you have a tailgate or satellite dish, you can use that, as well as cable in, so if you're at a campground that has cable, you can plug in, have cable. Light switch, and then pump. So water pump there is on. Now we have pressure to the system, and I'll be able to show you the water inside running. I also have another switch inside, I'll show you that as well. I'll put that away. Alright, generator on this one. The generator, when it's running, it is king. What I mean by that is, if you're plugged in, it will say to the coach, I am in charge, with the transfer switch that's in here. So even if you're plugged into 120, just normal household plug, you can still run the generator and run all your air conditioners. As of right now, it's really hard to see anything in here, but there is a switch. Let's see if I can get a light on it. There is a switch here that allows you to start and preheat. It is a diesel motor still, it has to preheat the coils for that. So not this easy to do, but push down and hold it. You'll hear clicking, and then you push up to start it. I'm not going to do that in here just because it's just going to be a little awkward on the phone. We have hour gauge here. It's really hard to focus. We have roughly 5 hours on this, and then the breaker switch next to it, it is in on position right now. If it ever gets to the off position, the generator will run but never send power to the house. So you ever notice your generator is running but you don't have power in normal plugs? That's usually why. We also have oil, which is going to be your yellow cap there, and then radiator fill, it's coolant, just on your gray point there. You want to do an oil change for the first time at 50 hours, that's 50. Every oil change after that's going to be 150 to 200 hours. Water heater. Same water heaters you see in most travel trailers, most other motorhomes as well. Does have a plug on it. If you ever let the coach sit for a week or two, make sure you empty it. You can pull that plug on this one. There is a valve right inside the generator bay where you can turn that valve and it will let the water out of the tank from there. But beyond that, it is electric and propane. You can run electric or propane at the same time. And I'll explain that more when I get inside, when I show you the switches for that. But basically, don't let stagnant water sit too long. One, it'll hurt you, and it gets stinky. Decent ladder on here. It's got a 250 pound weight capacity on that. If you're over 200 pounds, still use caution. Nice hitch on this one, 7-way plug. Let's see if I can get that. I cannot today, but 12,000 pound towing capacity. That means 750-pound tongue weight capacity. LED lights everywhere else. And then you have a rear view camera. A little small on this one. You do have side cameras as well. And I'll show you that on the passenger side. There is one on the driver and passenger. Nice big back window. A little bit of storage lighting. Lighting can be turned off inside, so I wouldn't worry about those being on. Another storage compartment. And a low point drain for your freshwater tank. So, you know, when you're done camping, again, I don't like stagnant water in these. It smells bad. Make sure you just turn the valve, let it drain. Propane. Used to seeing this, but in a tank form on the front of trailers. This one cannot be removed, so you have to know where this is. Right behind the wheel on the passenger side. The rear wheel on the passenger side. This is the fill port. It's not something you'll ever use. This valve you will, all the way on or all the way off. Never in between. And as of right now, it is full. I don't know if I can get it, but there is also a quick connect in here. This is for an external grill. In case you're going to do any grilling outside, not using the fire. Tires on this one, 110 psi, all 6. 4 in the back, 2 in the front. A little bit of storage. Other side of that storage, you can see a little better on this side. And that goes all the way forward. I said I'd show you. So, side view cameras, there's one on each side. I do have the awning out right now. Porch light on, as well as awning light. I do like those because you can aim them in what direction you want just by rolling up or down the tube. Outside entertainment. I do like the outside entertainment. Oh, remote, power. I'm not plugged in, so we're running off just the inverter on this. All your TVs are going to be off the inverter. Anything stereo wise will be off the inverter. Your fridge, your microwave, your air conditioners will not be on that. Oh. There it is. I'm inside of a steel building right now, so I'm not getting any channels. But stereo right here, this is actually kind of cool. One, you can listen to the radio with it, or plug your phone in as an auxiliary, or USB, or a thumb drive. There's also a button here. Push that. It allows it to drop. Oh, that's why. It is a removable face, so that didn't actually mess with anything. So there's also a DVD player. No DVD in it right now. That's okay. There we go. Put a DVD in and put the TV on AV, and you'll be able to watch a DVD from outside, as well as use it as a sound bar for your regular TV. So if you're watching sports or anything on just a over the antenna TV, you can put this on. I'll go over to mode. Let's see if I can. Trying to watch the camera and my hands is not easy. Mode. Put it on auxiliary. Auxiliary is going to allow it to go through the back of the TV into the stereo so you can listen to that. 35 watt speakers versus the 2-watt speakers on a TV. It definitely brings the volume up a little bit. It's a little nicer. And open it, button. Alright, on this, we're getting close to the end here. On this we have a keyless entry. As of right now, the code to get it in or out, or to lock it or get in it, is 3715 BP. Now it is locked. Okay, now that I pulled on the door, this keyless system is a little finicky. Once I pulled on the door, it added pressure to the locking mechanism. So what I'm going to want to do anytime I do that is push the door, hear the click, then 3715 BP, and now it is unlocked. Power steps. The power steps are okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself, I'm sorry. So you can change the code on the keypad. You can take, there's 2 Phillips screws here, one here, one here. Back of this panel, there's 4 AA batteries in it. Take the panel off, and on the back of that panel there are going to be instructions. They're fairly simple on how to change the code on the door handle. It's really simple to use. I don't change the codes until someone gets here and tells me what it is, or I let a customer do it themselves. But power steps, now then, back to that. Power steps is always run by the screen door, so not the main door. So close the screen door, the steps go in, open the screen door, steps come out. Or power step right now is on, turn it off, close the screen door now the steps stay out. So you don't have to worry about the steps staying out if you're camping, or if you're getting ready to go somewhere. If that switch is off, it will be bypassed by the ignition. So you turn the engine on, doors close, the steps will still come in, so you don't have to worry about that. A little bit of a safety feature there. But beyond that, awning on this is all controlled by a tablet inside or your phone, and I will show you how to do that as well. But after that, we're pretty much done on the outside. Feel free to ask for Dave if you have any questions on the outside when you're here checking it out. And see you in the next video.